All right, Taurus, thanks for tuning in to this November of 2014 horoscope. My name is Athen. All right, so we've got a lot of emphasis on Saturn this month, actually, for all of us. So responsibility, commitment, and being grounded. And for you guys, that energy has been in your 6th house for the past 2.5 years for most of you. So there's been a strong grip on the day-to-day and getting down into the grind and taking care of the health, taking care of the routine, and building a solid structure there, which is awesome because now Saturn is transiting into your 7th. And the thing is the 6th house, if we don't have a solid life, if we don't have a solid routine, a solid schedule, a solid day to work around, then we can't enjoy relationships. So now Saturn is hopefully, now that we're towards the end of this, a lot of us have got a really solid foundation in terms of our day-to-day activities. So now we can start focusing more on putting that energy, putting that commitment, that responsibility into relationships. So there's a big emphasis, a big switch here from the 6th house to the 7th house. And so for the next 2.5 years, while Saturn is there, he's going to be in your guys' 7th house. So that's wanting to get more committed, more responsible, more firm, more real, more grounded with relationships. And that's really emphasized this month, not only because Saturn's changing signs, but because the Sun, Venus, and Mercury are all following Saturn as he transits into that 7th house. And that's unique to this type of thing because those planets don't follow each other like that. Saturn's usually on his own like that. So with these other planets leading Saturn into it, when the first one is essentially your ruler, Venus. So what I really feel is you guys are getting closer and getting more intimate with people in your lives, or wanting to spend more time with maybe one person, a significant other, or just friends or family, or just people in your lives on a day-to-day level. But whatever it is, and I think it's all those really, and it certainly will be for the next 2.5 years, but whatever it's specifically for you now, it's you're wanting to do that. There's a desire there because that's what Venus is all about. So that happens early on in the month, and so wanting to do those relationship things is, I think, really fueling a lot of this energy. And so tap into that, enjoy it, because Venus will be in that 7th house. Enjoy the relationships, get connected, open the heart, and embrace and enjoy it. And the Sun's going to be there, so the Sun, when Sun transits around mid-month, then that's going to be, joyful and expression and expressing yourself. And that's very romantic too for those of you who are involved in romance, and for those of you who are in a relationship, it's a great time to spice up the relationship too with with the Sun transiting your 7th house. And then Mercury, followed by Mercury, which is again communication and wanting to share information. So it's a light house, it's the 7th house. Now it is in Scorpio, but that's what you guys are all about. You guys like the depth and you guys like the intensity that is in relationships, because at the end of the day, if the relationship's not meaningful, then what's the point? It has to go deep. And so you guys are naturally attracted to that Scorpio energy, being Tauruses, especially when it comes to relationships. So get deep, get real. Make those connections strong. And that's really the emphasis for this month and the years to come. Now, one key date that's taking place this month is Saturn is going to be conjuncting Pluto on the 10th. So this is going to be a lot of energy, and this is happening in your guys' 8th house of transformation. So with Pluto in that house, it's been, you guys have been going through changes. There's been structural changes to the whole, basically all the outdated structures of your life that you guys are getting rid of. And you've had Mars now transiting there last month. So Mars is going to continue to transit through that 8th house. So put that energy in getting rid of all that old garbage that's not serving you. That's the old emotional patterns, the thoughts, and of course when I say get rid of, the real step to this and the key to this is to embrace all aspects of yourself. So continue to do this. There's a tremendous amount of energy there up until the 27th while Mars is in your 8th to really embrace all aspects of yourself. Embrace your instincts. Trust your instincts. And become whole like this, because if we're separate, if we're pushing aspects of ourselves away, which is not what I mean by releasing, there's a difference between pushing away and releasing. If we're pushing parts of ourselves away and we're not giving them attention, then they essentially, you might say, come back to haunt us, and they rear their ugly head back out in, can be quite a nasty way. So we want to embrace and we want to accept ourselves for the way that we are, 100%. So do that, and then that's creating transformation. So there's a lot of energy in that area for you, especially around the 10th, to do those sorts of things. So any other things that you need to clear out, and this has to do with, external things as well. It could be just clearing out like your home or things physically. It could be because, let's face it, your home and the situations you're around, the people you're around, and all these things in your external environment do have an effect on you. So it's important to associate and put ourselves in situations that are harmonious to our growth. But anyways, it's all part of the transformation process, which I feel is really taking place this month for all of us, but especially you Tauruses with this 8th house Mars and Pluto. So essentially, the more we do that, the more that we rise up out of this, and the more room that there is for growth. And so that's allowing us to get deeper. That's cleaning us out. I feel it's a very clearing month for you, which is enabling you to really have those stronger connections with others, because when we're good and we embrace ourselves and we're healthy, then we can take care of our relationships, and we can enjoy relationships a lot more. So the 10th is a key date. Now, the way that this energy really unfolds this month is around the 6th. We've got to the full moon taking place in your 12th house. So this is the house of, oneness and spirituality and coming to unity with all that is. And there's a lot of peace that comes from this too, and it essentially comes from accepting our situation, our current situation. So around the 6th, there was a lot of energy in that 6th house last month with the work, the routine, the health, and the day-to-day activities. It's almost like I feel like it's time to take a little bit of a break early on in the month during this full moon. Be tranquil and kind of just do the presence of observing your current situation, your current life, and just accepting it, being at peace with it, because that's how we really rest. And I feel like it's this time of year for you guys to rest, because this is the full moon in the 12th. So it's been almost a year since you guys have had this resting period. So do that. Rest up. And then the moon and the rest of the planets will start to move into the higher aspects of your chart. So that's really unfolding the month, and I think that the more introspection, the more reflection, and just the more peace and presence that you have early on in the month, it's going to provide a flow, and it's going to provide a lot of insight and believe it or not, energy for you guys that month, because it is happening in Aries. So I feel there's this energy, and it's going to really associate with that Mars that's transiting your 8th. Now, Mars is going to be changing sign on the 27th. He's going to be going into your 9th house. So I feel like at the end of the month, for those of us that really do that clearing work and the acceptance and all that stuff I talked about with the 8th house, there's a metamorphosis happening. And it's a metamorphosis of energy, of vitality, because that's what Mars represents. So wanting to really expand and come out of the ashes, you might say, as the phoenix does, and tapping into that tremendous amount of energy. And so you guys are going to have a lot of energy to really do things that expand your horizons, learning, traveling, spending time out in nature, enjoying yourself. The 9th house is a very, it's about opportunities, and it's about opening up both our mental and physical environments. So that's coming out of the ashes when we can see the big picture and we can see all the events unfolding for us and putting energy into it. So from the 27th onward, really put the energy into the path, into the purpose, into whatever you guys are doing, and that's all cycling in. And as long as there's that balance and harmony in the relationships, which I think there certainly will be with Saturn there, and we're taking that firm, take that really firm, responsible, mature approach to relationships. It's really going to solidify that 7th house. And we're enjoying the relationships and expressing ourselves. That's opening us up even more and providing us energy as well. Because these two parts of the chart, the 9th house and the 7th house, they're sextiling each other. So that's opportunities there. When we do one, it provides opportunities for the other. Now we've got some station directs happening this month. We've got Neptune going station direct and Chiron as well in Aquarius in your guys' 10th house. So if there's been any type of reflection or things may have not been flowing in the career side of things, or things have been a little bit very internal in that area, once these planets go direct, this is when the energy in that 10th house, which is career, it's also public image, and it's also anything that we do of service, being of service to others. Those energies are going to go direct this month. So if there's been any haze, any fog, which Neptune usually does provide, or insecurities, because Chiron is our weak spots, In regards to the career, know that those are going to start to move forward for you mid-month and later on in the month, the 16th and the 23rd. But it's subtle. It takes a little bit of time to work with that. And it's also freedom in your work. I think a lot of you have been reflecting on the importance of freedom in your work, which is, of course, something that's very important to you Tauruses. So more freedom in your work, I really feel, on the external side of things, you know. And for those of us that have been doing the internal work of enjoying the inner sense of freedom, that will externalize when these planets go direct. Now, one last thing is we got the new moon happening on the 22nd, and this is happening in Scorpio. So this is in that 7th house. So I really feel that there's new beginnings that are really going to be taking place in that 7th house. And I feel like it comes a lot from all this clearing and all of this residue that we're releasing, embracing. And that is going to create something new. And I think a lot of us might form new relationships. A lot of us might actually, you know, our current relationships, in essence, even those will have a new beginning and a sense of newness. And when we look at them, they'll look different from the time before this new moon as they did after this new moon. So this is very beautiful to have this in the 7th house. And again, as long as we're taking that mature approach and we're being, you know, stern and committed to, you know, our commitments with ourselves, then that is really utilizing this energy, and I think really going to unfold a lot of these new beginnings in that 12th house area. So look out for those too, and there's opportunities with that as well. All right, guys, so I'm going to draw a card and see where Spirit would like a little more emphasis. Okay, Leo. All right, well, Leo is your guys' 4th house, so that's home. So, you know, and the thing is, too, you know, with Leo, it's about being our true selves and expressing ourselves. And it's very important for you guys to feel, you know, there's the 4th house is the bottom of the chart. So for you guys, in order for you to feel really secure and grounded, you have to be able to express yourself, and you have to be able to be creative. And that's what that sun energy is all about. So with the ruler of Leo, the sun, going into your 7th, I really feel that, you know, express yourself, be yourself, and that in and of itself will strengthen your guys' relationships and strengthen you at your very core too, because, like I said, it's the bottom of the chart. And strengthen your feelings and strengthen your emotions as well, which then further develops your relationship. And Leo, you know, I also want to say too, it's a great time to be artistic, creative, anything like that, and an entrepreneurship, anything that's Leo related, dance, art, painting, you know, all that stuff. Great month to do that. And so anytime I see Leo too, it's usually an indication to enjoy yourself and just have fun. So I want to mention that as well. All right, Taurus, well, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Take care.